Hey guys, thank you for listening to the Pausing Porn podcast. My name is Mark. Today we are starting with episode 1, My Experience with Porn. Guys, I just want to thank you for tuning in to the first episode of the podcast here today. Releasing this episode for a few reasons. It's going to be like a foundational episode towards the podcast. So I'm going to give a bit of background information on myself, who I am, and my journey with pornography, as well as give you some more information about the podcast, like who it's meant for and my plans for the podcast going forward. So, guys, this can be the first of many episodes. My plan for this is I want to release weekly episodes. So, I'm going to try my best and hold myself accountable to that. I'm super excited for the project and for the podcast. The podcast episodes are essentially going to be usually a mix. Today, I'll kind of mention my personal experience, and I want to bring that into a lot of these podcasts because, at least in my recovery, I found hearing other people's experiences was super useful. So I always want to bring that mix in, as well as like good practical knowledge, recovery tips, and at the end of the day, like building a community for everyone to be able to gain a life free from porn. I'll give us a quick history so you can have a background information and see my journey and my progression as well. Just like a lot of you guys listening, especially guys in their 20s or early 30s, I started watching porn at a pretty young age. I was about 10 years old when I think back on it. And I remember the day specifically too, is I was playing on the family computer and I was playing this racing game on one of those free online game sites. And this advertisement came up, looked completely different than anything I've ever seen before. And it was for this porn game. And I don't remember what the game exactly was, but I just remember being absolutely shocked from what I saw. And as a kid, I saw it, I did like a little peek, I turned it off, went outside. I was like, what the heck did I just see? And then I found myself the next day coming back to it. That represents a lot of my relationship with porn, which is funny because from day one, it set out a clear future of what it would look like going down over a decade later. But with that, it started out pretty softcore, the things I would watch. I would watch it probably maybe once a month, right? It was fine. It wasn't a huge issue. It's just how it evolved over time. So before I knew it, it was every day. Then it was twice a day. And the content shifted as well. The same stuff I was watching before, it just didn't do it anymore. I continuously evolved watching different things. It took until I was about 19 for my relationship with porn to get to such a bad point that I didn't realize that whole time that I had an unhealthy relationship, that it was actually an addiction. I went from daily use or maybe twice a day use and just out of nowhere it jumped 3, 4, 5 times a day. And I remember too is like some of these binges would be well over 6 hours straight. So that's when I really recognized it. And at first I went to deny it and I went, no, this is normal. Everyone else does it. Everyone watches it. There's no problem with me doing it. And then my partner found out. And it just went all downhill from there. It did slap me right in the face. And I realized, hey, this is an issue. And I took accountability right away. When I actually put two and two together and realized that this was an addiction, I did not realize how little information there would be on recovering from this. And I think it has changed a little bit today. Like you'll see there's more information out there, it's more well known. But I remember at the beginning of my recovery journey, as someone that took it very seriously too, I struggled to get helpful information. And I did just about everything wrong in my recovery journey. And that's the reason why it took me 4 years. Do I think everyone is going to take 4 years? Like, let's say you're on day one of your recovery. No, it doesn't have to be. Right. And so that's why I'm making this podcast here. It's like I went through a lot with this recovery. If I had done it right the first time, I could have gotten to a place within a matter of 6 months. I'd feel very confident. But I just did probably everything wrong under the sun. And that's why it took so long. But the nice part is I've been porn free for close to a year now. I don't count days anymore. Urges are very minimal. And even take the urges I was getting 2 months ago versus this month, I keep getting more strength. The cool thing I've noticed within my recovery is prior to it, you don't realize how deep the roots of the addiction are in your life. That's just your life. And it slowly gets more and more impactful over time as the negative effects of that addiction. But once you get time apart and you're actually recovering and growing, you slowly take out those roots and you're able to realize what you've been missing over the past years. So like for myself, been developing a lot of friendships with people again. Within the addiction, I was very isolated. I'd have a few people that we'd speak to on an occasional basis. And now it's like I have friends every weekend. I can go see people I could talk to throughout the week. Same as family. I'm much more connected with my family now. Mental health has been incredibly better. Fitness and nutrition, been going to the gym on a consistent basis, even finances too. And it's not necessarily like a huge direct correlation. Like I wasn't spending a lot of money on the addiction. I think it more goes in with all the other factors and gaining that discipline as well. It truly is a complete life rework, which is amazing because you're set up to realize much more of your true potential. Okay, guys, that's it for today's podcast. Just wanted to share a little bit about my journey, what the podcast is, what you could expect in the future here, and maybe give a little bit of hope for you guys if that's what you want to hear lately with a recovery story. My next episode is going to be on guilt and shame in your recovery. So make sure to tune in when it's released. It's super important. All right, take care, guys.